Hello and welcome to the garden. Well, I wasn't going to film anything today. I just came into the greenhouse, pottering around. I'm stringing up the pepper plants here that are running down the border. They're getting quite tall. They've got some big fruit on them, so I'm happy with them, but they do need tying up now or they're going to keel over. Up this end of the greenhouse, I'd put just a few spare cloves of garlic, and all the plants had fallen over into the path here. And I hadn't expected anything from these. I expect, or I'm hoping for, nice crops from the polytunnel. That's where our main crop is this year. I've already lifted some of those outdoors, and I've started harvesting the scapes from the hard neck varieties. Very tasty. And the soft neck ones are still going. So I don't want to harvest those too soon. I want to give them plenty of time to bulb up. I'd like some bigger bulbs than I got from my rusty outdoor crop. But anyway, I'd put a few spares in here. Didn't think anything would come of them. I've got peach roots and the vine roots down in this bed here. So the bit along the wall doesn't really grow anything particularly well. I've got some nice flowers in there. I've got some marigolds, but I didn't expect anything from the garlic. I just lifted a couple. The bulbs are huge. So I just thought I'd run and get the camera and show you these great big garlic bulbs. Well, I only had a short row in here, but I mean, those are mighty fine bulbs. They're going to clean up nicely too. I mean, they're lovely. I'm not sure which variety this is. I've got two. I had Carcassonne and what was the other one? Provence. So I'm not sure which one this is. I will find out when I get to those bulbs in the polytunnel because they're labelled. But anyway, I mean, I'm delighted with those. It's just one more to lift here. Oh, he's got good roots on him. Oh, it's another great bulb. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm really surprised that they grew here. I mean, I don't know what that is. I've got the tree just there and the roots come out into here. It's difficult to get into this soil sometimes. It's not the best soil in the greenhouse, but I am very much inclined to put a long row along this border next year because they've just done fantastically well. I've got another little patch of these hiding at the back here to the side of the apricot. This is my lemongrass. It's doing all right, but let's just have a look at one of these. Oh, it's got good roots. Oh dear. Well, that's got to be a good sized bulb because the roots are really vigorous on it. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's another nice one, and I'll pull these in a minute. Well, I'm both surprised and delighted with these. I think these are fantastic sized bulbs. They are rock hard. The individual cloves are big, and I do like that. It's much nicer in the kitchen. Well, I use a ton of garlic, and it's a real pain if you need half a dozen fiddy little cloves to put in a dish. Well, I'd happily have half a dozen of this size actually, but these are great big cloves. They're just perfect for cooking with, and yeah, these are monsters. I'm really delighted. I'm hoping that this is a good sign for the garlic in the polytunnel. In theory, that should be in better soil than these in here. Conditions should be a little bit better, but I don't know, maybe not. The greenhouse here is warmer during that early part of spring when these really start to put on growth. I've got the south-facing wall here, and obviously there's the greenhouse itself. So conditions are better in the greenhouse than they are in the polytunnel. But I've always grown good garlic in our polytunnel. This one is new. This is only our second season with it, and it went in too late for garlic last year. But in our previous tunnel, we grew some good garlic. I'm not sure they were quite as big as these. I mean, the bulb size is good. The clove size is, they're just mighty cloves. This is some of the best garlic I've ever produced. So yeah, I'm hopeful that the garlic in the tunnel will also be good. I've got some in there with some pretty chunky stems. I've also, I mean, they're quite mixed, so we'll find out in a few weeks' time. I'm going to leave them as long as I can. With the hard neck varieties, once they throw up their scape and you cut that off and eat it, at that point, it needs ideally probably about 4 weeks before you harvest. So I don't want to do that for another 3 weeks or so. And I'll leave the soft neck ones for a while as well. There is a little bit of rust in there. Potentially that might be the limiting factor, although it doesn't seem to be spreading nearly as rapidly as it did outdoors. And I have this suspicion that the variety I planted outdoors was potentially a little bit susceptible. I can't say with certainty, so it might be unfair to criticise it, but I've had a couple of years now where that one has produced more rusty plants than everything else I've been growing. So yeah, I'm a little bit suspicious of that, but there's a little bit in the polytunnel, and maybe if they get quite rusty, I'll pull them out. But for now, this was an unplanned and quite delightful little harvest. But that is all for this video. Thanks ever so much for watching, and bye for now.